Right. There's a click right there. All right. Good afternoon, you guys. I've got my alma mater shirt on. The incredible Embry-Riddle Aeronautical University. Half the second pool of pilots in the U.S. military come out of Embry-Riddle, for those of you guys that don't know that. Embry-Riddle is the Harvard of aviation. So if you're in the aviation world and you say Embry-Riddle, they know what you're talking about. They know you went to the top school. Private school, very expensive. Thank God the military paid for 75% of my attendance there. Got my bachelor's degree there in professional aeronautics and also the associate in professional aeronautics. When I went to school, I took them for everything I could take them for. So those of you guys that know me, Donovan rarely leaves money on the table. Please excuse my voice. I got the flu shot 2 weeks ago, and it's just now starting to kick in. So I'm a little under the weather, but I'm not under the weather. It is what it is. But I'm back. So for you guys that were saying, hey, where did he go? We don't see his stuff on there. He's not pissing me off and all this other stuff. It's kind of funny when you get addicted. Even if you don't like what a certain show is saying or a thing, you're just kind of addicted to it and you want to debate it. And like I said, I'm open to a lot of debate with a lot of people. A lot of people send me a lot of stuff, and some of it's nice, some of it's not nice. But the fact of the matter is, when you engage me, you're thinking, and that's what's important. Now, you got some people out there that, oh, well, who do you think you are to, this, that, and that. I don't know why people who don't like what I do continue to watch and criticize what I do. It doesn't make sense to me. Everybody has a choice. You don't have to come to this page. You just don't have to. Block the page. Leave it alone. Whatever. So just know this. I'm not hurting for friends. I'm not hurting for friends. One thing about me, I think I am very consistent in my stance. I know what I'm talking about. At least I believe I know what I'm talking about. And unless you could show me abstract proof, you're not going to change my mind. You know, I respect everybody's opinion, but just because I don't follow your opinion doesn't mean I don't like you or you're not my friend. You're supposed to have a rabbit debate. I was talking to somebody the other day, and they were surprised that I was a Catholic. And they were a Catholic, but they were surprised I was a Catholic because perception is you're a black person and you're either a Southern Baptist, Methodist, all this other crazy stuff. I said, no, I'm a Catholic. I'm a practicing Catholic. I go to St. Patrick's right up the street from my house. Sometimes to St. Christopher, which is down the other street. And St. Christopher is a total Espanol-speaking Catholic church. And I like to go to St. Christopher's because it helps me with my Spanish. Also, people always ask me that's not Catholic. How do you go to that church and you don't even really understand what they're going on? One thing about being a Catholic, you can go to any church around the world, no matter what the language is, and you can follow the ceremony, that the thing of the church, because it's based in tradition. You just go through the motions. You could learn what the priest is saying later on. You know what I mean? But the important thing is you're there fellowshipping, right? The whole point of gathering together of those that believe is to increase each other's faith. When you're isolated and you're by yourself, temptation, the devil, everything like that gets to you and it weakens your faith. I mean, not saying everybody gets weakened, but when there's a bunch of you together, it's kind of hard to break a person's spirit. Let's just say that. So anyway, I'm back. I know I sound terrible, but as I've been catching up to everything that's going on, it's amazing to me how people. I was talking to a good friend of mine. We were on the page, and this good friend of mine does exactly what I tell you guys to do. Don't just listen to what I'm saying. Research what I'm saying. And she did exactly that. And she found out certain things for her on her own accord, right? On her own accord. And I'm so happy that she's doing that. If I can get one person to think for themselves, that's great. But she was already thinking for herself. But my point is, I don't believe people willingly come on to a Facebook platform, right, and willingly want to lie, unless they're getting paid by some other entity. We're talking about everyday people. I'm an average everyday person, and I get on here. Number one, it's therapeutic for me, because in this world, sometimes we feel that we're not heard. And when we're not heard, we feel helpless, right? And sometimes people have to see other people and how they move in the world. So, and not everybody's me, and I'm not everybody. So, again, I tell people, you can go to city council, and right here on this platform, all my family members, both sides of my family, they are actually seeing how I move in the world, because I live in California. Most of my family's from Louisiana. And they actually see how I move as an adult. Most of them only see me when I was a kid growing up. You're young, summertime, whatever the deal is. And this is how I move. My brother knows how I move. My mom, she doesn't really care how I move. My mom is like, hey. But, I'm a grown man, and this is how I move. She doesn't like some of the things of how I move, but, it is what it is. I'm a grown man. And sometimes you got to be the example for other people. Like I said, the information is not going to be out there for everybody. We got a lot of misinformation out here, okay? And that's fine. You can have misinformation. But I tell you guys, it's the local level. Everybody could tell me who's running for president. Oh, Kamala. Oh, Trump. Oh, this, oh, that. Isn't it strange that the very people that can tell you everything about why they hate Trump, they can't tell you one damn thing about who their alderman is or their council person is, what projects are coming to their city. They could barely name the mayor if they know the mayor at all. And this is what I'm trying to get you guys to understand, to participate in the community that you live in. It's easy. Anybody could sit on their ass and sit back and complain, but what are you doing? As you guys see me, myself, yes, I'm on this platform and I'm complaining and I'm bitching and all that other great stuff, but I'm also going to my city council meetings. And if I can't go to the city council meetings, I'm also sending emails, and I'm using the city apps. A lot of cities have apps. You could use that, and you could email anonymously and do all those other things. Or you can do what my friend Bruce does. He's had enough. He was in this city for a long time, went and started a whole new life and living good in Mexico. I think about that stuff all the time, and that's what it's going to come to. You're going to have to come to a conclusion of what's best for you. Either you're part of the solution or you are the problem. And that's what it's going to come down to. And my friend Bruce is on. He says crawdads right now. And Bruce is he's a pretty funny guy, but he goes way back, like I said. And when I was first getting into politics and first getting into my city, Bruce, who'd been around for a long time, he knew where all the bodies were. He kind of knows this and that, and I got that information, and this is what you got to do. You got to talk to the older generation sometimes, and Bruce is not that much older than me, but he's older than me. And you got to get that information and have that information passed down. But you got to research what you're talking about. There's so many people. I was kind of shocked when I'm on my friend's thread today. Yeah, see, Bruce says it's a waste of time. See? And Bruce will let you know how he feels truthfully. Okay? No chaser. He just puts it out there and that's it, right? And for me, I don't know. I've always enjoyed people who were like that, because the honesty is so raw that you can't help but respect it, Yeah, you have some hope issues. But it was funny. I was on my friend's thread, and a friend of hers said that his wife just found out, and I'm going to assume, these people are older, they're in my age group or younger, that the KKK was formed by the Democratic Party. Now, how many of you guys know that the KKK is the military arm of the Democratic Party. Yeah, Bruce. Yeah, Bruce was born in March. So yeah. So yeah. Oh my God. March Air Force Base goes back to, I think it came into existence in 1910, 13, around that time, something like that, 1909. So March Air Force Base is over 100 years old. So there's a lot of people that were born on that base that still live in this area till this very day. So wow, yeah. So yeah. So long time ago. So Bruce has been there a long time ago, over 50 years ago. He was born there over 50 years ago. But it's shocking to me how people don't even know the history of the Democratic Party, but they're Democrats, or people don't know the history of the Republican Party and the Republicans. And they continually vote against their own interests, not knowing what they're doing. You see these people that call themselves liberal Democrats, and they're always talking about racism and victimization. I'm a victim, this is that, right? Oh my gosh, the racism. Do you understand that you're a member of a party that stands for white supremacy? That's what the Democratic Party stands for. The Democratic Party was against, well, they were against the United States, but they were for slavery. The Democratic Party is against mixing of the races. The Democratic Party is anti-black. They've always been. Their platform has never changed. And she just figured, this lady didn't know that. My friend, she didn't know the longest filibuster in history was done by Strom Thurmond, a Democrat that turned into a Dixiecrat that turned into a Republican. She's just finding this stuff out now. All right. Yeah. Okay. Bruce was born in 1953, going to be 72. Okay. My mom was born in 1950. So you're 3 years younger than my mom. But yeah, there you go. Right there. Right there. A lot of history there. And, and what I hate, Bruce, is a lot of young people, as you guys get older with all of that wisdom and experience, these younger people refuse to sit and listen to the wisdom and knowledge that you guys have, because when it's our time to go, you're taking all that information with you, and we will never ever get that. And it's so sad. Back in the day, that kind of wisdom was passed down. Yes, I believe that there needs to be an IQ test to be eligible to vote. Yeah, or some kind of standard. It's just crazy to me. And like I said, I don't care if you're a racist African whatever. I don't care if you're a racist person. I think I have a problem with an ignorant racist person. That's what I think I have a problem with. You hate a black person, why? Or you hate gay people, why? What is the parameter that what's your beef with them? It's a little crazy, I guess, but yeah, I don't really believe people intentionally, unless they are absolutely getting paid, they're going to come on social media, the average person, and spew lies. And I tell you guys, if anything that I'm saying is not true, please come back and correct. Bruce corrects me all the time, especially when it comes to things going on around here in March, because he has more experience than I do. I don't get offended. I learn. And this is what we're supposed to do. We're supposed to exchange ideas and grow. Unfortunately, a lot of us are not growing. Yeah, most people are just flat out stupid. And Bruce, I was telling a friend of mine today, it's easier to stick our head in the sand or pull the blanket up over our heads and hope the problem goes away. And that's what a lot of people do. It's really sad. But I was just shocked how people don't know what I would assume you should know. If I'm going to be a member of an organization, shouldn't I know what the organization stands for? I'll be truthful. Other than Barack Obama running me out of the Democratic Party and not doing anything for black people, right? Because I was ignorant and all that other stuff, wasn't paying attention. Other than that, when the Democratic Party started making a platform that was it's always been anti-black, but making a platform that was LGBTQ, anti-family, um, anti-man, fathers and stuff like that, I had to leave. I had to leave because that's a platform that I can't stand for as a man, so I had to leave. Yeah. If yeah. I'm not going to read that one there, Bruce, but go to the comments, you guys, if you want to see what Bruce said, and it's a good point. It's a very good point. So anyway, I'm really glad. If you like Donald Trump or not, it doesn't matter. I firmly believe both of these parties, if they are incumbents, they need to be voted out. The government should not shut down at any time, regardless. Show me another country in the world where the government shuts down. Well, France and the countries where the people rise up, that's different. The people are rising up. The people that have ownership. But we're letting this government shut down over politics. And the crazy thing is, both sides are letting people suffer, or whatever you want to call it, in the name of politics. The United States government should not ever